I've said that we should increase personal income taxes by 2%.
Is fair.
And my point is this:
give up more than half of your income.
If you're making $1 million in New York City or more than that, you can afford to pay 2% more. And the reasons you can afford to do so is because that money will be used to better your quality of life as well.
Mamdani going straight to hell for what he's doing. I want to talk about Mamdani. We got clips associated with the tax numbers or him wanting the institute of 52% tax. But this is where we need the rubber need to hit the road, because when you cover things like this, you need to be able to cover these things appropriately and cover them with fairness and see what everybody has to say on the spectrum. And this is why I love Ground News for this, because we have the ability to monitor how these things are being presented to the public. Most of the people talking about this is in the center. On the left, not so much. On the right, not so much. And if you go and look at it, what is the left saying, right? Mamdani addressed Trump directly in interview apologizing to NYPD. No, he didn't. I saw that clip. They lying. Mamdani offers to work with Trump during the Fox News appearance. That's not true. Mamdani apologized for calling NYC racist. Now this is a different clip. I saw a clip. They're being disingenuous on the left. I saw the clip, and they asked him directly, like, are you going to apologize? He skated around it. If the clip exists out there, I would click on this, but I got a clip of my own that I want to play. And you're going to write, Mamdani uses Fox interview to apologize to NYPD, set direct message to Trump. Maybe he did. Maybe this is a new one that he did. But I wonder why the right isn't covering this more. Maybe because allegedly he apologized to NYPD and the right don't want to cover it. But you know the difference by doing your research and looking through this. And also, don't forget the blind spot. This is one of my favorite parts of the Ground News. You go in here, you look at the blind spots, make sure you're not getting blind spotted, right? You can see where the right is covering it, the left is not covering it whatsoever. And then the right is not covering these. And you want to be aware of these before it catch you during election time, and you wonder how a candidate won, is because our side isn't covering everything. But you got it all covered through Ground News. And I want y'all, if you're interested in getting Ground News, I have the membership. It's the Vantage plan. And if you use my link, I'll put the link in the description section, or ground.news/Tatum, whichever one you want to use, you'll get 40% off the unlimited plan. Get the unlimited plan. Don't waste time. Don't be cheap. Get the whole plan so you get access to everything. You don't need to have half of it. Get everything so you can be informed. But I want to play a couple clips from Mamdani. Let's start with clip 14 about the 52% tax increase.
So a lot of individuals in this city pay more than 50% of their income in taxes. When you talk about a fair share, how much more than, what is the fair share? What's the number?
I've said that we should increase personal income taxes by 2%.
Is fair.
And my point is this:
give up more than half of your income.
If you're making $1 million in New York City or more than that,
million,
you can afford to pay 2% more. And the reasons you can afford to do so is because that money will be used to better your quality of life as well.
Yeah.
Because when I speak to the wealthiest New Yorkers, I hear concerns about the cleanliness of the city, the quality of life in the city, questions of public safety. This money is the money that will be used to deliver on those things so that we can ensure that we have a return on investment for all of the money that we are raising and spending right here across the 5 boroughs.
52%. You got to understand how silly this is. You're telling a person that make $1 million. $1 million is not that much money in New York. Like when I'm saying, when you look at the per capita of all these big time people that live there, $1 million is really not a lot. I'm saying for the people who got money. I'm not saying, because I know some people out there like, but you live in the city, you think you're going to have a high rise, you're going to live $1 million don't take you as far. Maybe I should say it like this so people don't misconstrue what I'm saying. $1 million in Texas, in Florida, Arizona, Oklahoma, anywhere in the South will take you to the promised land. In New York, after you pay 52% of your money in state tax, what is it? State tax? Hold on, let me put this together. State tax? Am I tripping, y'all? Let me put this together. 52% in state. It's no way that's right. It can't be. It must be something. Let me look into this. Okay. It says, it's a clip of Mamdani who wants 52% citywide income tax remain unverified and exaggerated. He said it there on the news, so I don't think it's unverified. Higher tax on the top 1%, increase corporate tax or corporate rates to fund housing. I'm trying to put this together. Maybe I'm wrong. I need to do my research on this because this kind of don't make sense. 52% on state tax. Now, how do you do 52% on state tax? What do you do on federal tax? Because if you're making $1 million or more a year, you're probably in the top bracket in federal income tax, which is like 30-some%. Maybe he's saying just corporate tax. So that means that, like, for instance, one of my companies is actually a corporation. So then I have to pay taxes twice, right? The corporation pays tax, and then I pay tax individually. 52% on corporate, that can't be right. Because corporations have to pay federal income tax. And then you have to pay 50% to state. I'm wrong on this. Can somebody help me in the comment section? Am I tripping? It's impossible. That means you're paying like 60-70% in taxes. That can't be true. That can't be true. I gotta look this up. Y'all, let me do more research on this. It says 50% blanket income tax on all New Yorkers. Obviously not all. They're talking about the 1% earners. There is no way this is true. It can't be possible. If your company has a revenue, play his clip back. I gotta hear his clip one more time.
So a lot of individuals in this city pay more than 50% of their income in taxes. When you talk about a fair share, how much more than, what is the fair share? What's the number?
I've said that we should increase personal income taxes by 2%.
Personal income
is
tax.
Fair.
And my point is this:
Give up more than half of your income. That's
if you're making $1 million in New York City or more than that, you can afford to pay 2% more. And the reasons you can afford to do so is because that money will be used to better your quality of life as well.
Yeah.
Because when I speak to the wealthiest New Yorkers, I hear concerns about the cleanliness of the city, the quality of life in the city, questions of public safety. This money is the money that will be used to deliver on those things so that we can ensure that we have a return on investment for all of the money that we are raising and spending right here across the 5 boroughs.
Wait a minute, y'all. 52% of your income, personal income tax. He just say corporate. Personal income tax is 52%. City tax? Then you have to pay federal income tax. That includes federal? Yeah, that 52% includes federal. Well, he can't control federal. Yeah. So what is he doing for state? He's trying to say you pay 2% more in state tax it got even worse. Because if that's 2%, that it don't go like I pay this and then I pay 2%. The 2% in and of itself is a crazy amount of money. So I think people need to understand this. Like, you're not paying 52%. You're paying 50%, and then you're paying 2%, which 2%, like, he can't do it together. I hope y'all understand this math. Some of y'all mathematicians like Nick understand this. You're saying 50% is a solid amount. But then your total income is an extra 2%. I'm trying to figure out how he tried to do the math on this. If federal income tax will be 52%, that means that if I made $1 million, I have to pay 52% on the $1 million. Since this guy is doing, he can't control federal income tax. So he really have nothing to do with what is he taxing what's left over? Because if he's taxing you out of $1 million, you pay 2%, which is what, 200,000. Hold on. $1 million, 10% would be 100,000. No, so let's go down a little bit, 20,000. So you'll be paying $20,000. Not 52% mean paying this plus this. That's he's trying to add like it's an add-on. That's not an add-on. He's separately charging you the total amount of your income. And let me just explain this for people that understand this. Somebody with $1 million ain't going to pay $1 million. They're not going to have $1 million of income. If your tax person is doing their job, if you're about 1 to 1.2, $1.4 million, your tax person is gonna find you a loophole to bring your income under $1 million. It's ways to do it. You can business expenses, you can invest, you can do all kind of stuff. They will bring your money. So he's not really talking about people that's around the 1.5 million range. What this fool is thinking about doing is making people who have an incredible amount of net worth, and they're going to be paying hundreds of thousands or more in taxes because they're going to pay 50% to the government. There's already a state tax, and they're going to pay 2% on top of that. Y'all working with me on this, right? I make $1 million. 50% go, I'm assuming, well, no, 50% is not. 37 goes to federal, and then he's putting another number on top of that. So 37, I've been getting this wrong. Y'all know it's confusing me what he's saying. So he think that the total is 52%. But it don't work like that. They're taxing you unless they're taxing you after you've been taxed federally, meaning that if you've been taxed federally and you got 50% of your money or 37% of your money down and they tax you on the 37%, then that would make a total of 52%. But if they're letting the government tax you at $1 million, that means you pay 30% of $1 million to them, and then you pay another, how much percent? And then 10.9 to the state. And then are they going to make you pay 12% to the state? Or are they going to make you pay 10% and then add on the 2%? And you have to pay 3% to the city. That's insane. You know how much you're getting raked over the coals? That's crazy. That right there, the city and the state income tax is like 13 or 14%. There is no state income tax in Texas, and I believe there's no sales tax in Texas. There's no state income tax in Florida. So a multi-billionaire or millionaire will save millions of dollars in taxes if they just live just south of New York and Florida. Mamdani going straight to hell for what he doing. But anyway, I'm glad y'all worked that math with me. It's confusing to me too. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out.